Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanam Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Narayanam Gurum Vande Sharanyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gora Manuvishtam Purnam Radha Dasyam Pradayakam Rupanugacharya Varyam Rupamanjari Preshtakam Patita Pavana Bandhavam Yugacharya Narayanam Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gaura Dvise Samsara Dukkha Jalado Patitasya Kama Krodharina Kramakare Kavali Kritasya Durvasana Nigaditasya Nirashrayasya Chaitanya Chandra Mamadehi Padavalambam. Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Ismiraha Salimurali Manohara Radhikara Shikamam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Guru Hadevika Ku Bargad Gadayadavacha Yachennipatya Bhuvi Dhamdava Udbhatarti Asya Prasadama Buddhasya Janasya Kritva Gandharvike Nijagane Gananam Videhi Vrindai Tulasi Devyai Priyai Keshavascha Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavate Namo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Please raise your hand and chant together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So first of all, I begin offering my most humble obeisances to the dust of the lotus feet of Paramaradatam Shri Guru Pada Padma, Nitya-lila Pravishta Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Paribrajacharya Ashtottara Sata Shri Srimad Shri Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev, and also to my most worshipable Shiksha and Sannyasa Guru, Nitya-lila Pravishta Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Paribrajacharya Ashtottara Sata Shri Srimad Shri Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to all Sri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga, to all Tridandi Sannyasis, Brahmacharis, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, and to all the assembled devotees here, my most respectful obeisances. So, by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudeva and all the Mahabhagavatas Acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time. So we are continuing with our Rath-yatra Mahamahotsav. 2 days ago we started Rath-yatra, and today Lord Jagannath is arriving in front of the Gundicha Mandir. Tomorrow he is going to enter Gundicha Mandir. So Gundicha represents Vrindavan, and Nilachala Mandir, this Jagannath Mandir, it represents Dwaraka. And on the way of that road, during the pulling of the Rath, That place is called Kurukshetra. So we have 3 places in this Leela. But this Leela is not so simple to understand. This Leela mixed with so many things, mixed with so many moods, mixed with so many different dates and occasions, times. So we can explore it from many different corners. It's just like a big rasagula. It's full of ras from every side. So this Rath Yatra Leela is like that. It is full of ras. So, and also we can include in that the Leelas of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which are like the complement for what Krishna have done. Whatever Krishna could not accomplish in his Leelas, he did as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one Leela is the preparation for the other one. Right? So today I want to describe all the different stories from which Lord Jagannath has manifested his form, his transcendental form, with no hands, no legs, and very big eyes and head. These 3 stories Srila Gurudev has narrated very nicely, and the last one is very secret because it's not present in any book. First one is in the Puranas, second one is in Srimad Bhagavatam, but third one it is in the heart of the pure devotees only. So the first Leela, it is more general and it shows one aspect, one external aspect of the form of Jagannath. How he appeared with that form? Through the carving of the wood. When the logs appeared in the ocean. So there was a king, Indrajumna Maharaj, very powerful king. And he was very much devoted. And in his palace, in his kingdom, he used to receive the people, the pilgrims, the devotees, and used to supply them all types of facilities, food, lodge, everything. So one day, 2 pilgrims came to his palace, and they were talking about a very beautiful deity, whose name was Nilmadhav. The soldiers, they overheard the conversation between the 2 pilgrims. And immediately they came to the king and informed him. But the king, he was always eager to know different deities and know about different devotees and temples. So, immediately Indrajumna Maharaj sent the soldiers there to bring those pilgrims inside. So they could tell where is the temple of this such a beautiful, amazing Nilmadhav. But when they arrived, the pilgrims had already left. Indrajumna Maharaj, he was so upset, very disappointed, and he decided that he would find this deity at any cost. So he looked for 4 men from his trust that they could go by horse in the 4 directions searching for Nilmadhav, and they only could come back after finding. So he sent them by horse. And one very qualified Brahmin, Vidyapati, he went to the east direction, and then he was riding his horse for many, many days until he arrived in one village. In that village, he was feeling tired and hungry, and he decided to go to the house of the in charge of the village. As he arrived there, the person was not present, but his daughter was there. Her name was Lalita. And she told, "My father is working, you can please wait for him, and he will come by the end of the day. And then you can talk to him and you can have whatever you want." So by the end of the day, his father, whose name was Vishwavasu, he came back. And how he came? He was having a very intense fragrance in his body. Fragrance of chandan, of aguru, and other different types of scents. He was having a very beautiful sandal tilak in his front, his forehead. And Vidyapati, he was very much, astonished with that. And he began to talk, but he did not reveal why he was coming, because that was a secret. So the Vishwavasu ordered that Vidyapati should be, served. And Vishwas thought, Vidyapati, he is a very nice man and he's young, and my daughter, she is also in a time for marriage, so it may be a good match if I keep him here. So Vishwas, he gave all facilities to Vidyapati to stay there, and he said, whatever you want, we will provide, we give you a room, and you can take a rest, and then you can continue with your journey for your king's mission. Then Vidyapati, he felt in his heart, there is something here. The way his father, the Vishwavasu, is behaving, the way he is coming every day in the evening, full of this beautiful tilak and this perfume, this fragrance. And then he asked to Lalita, where is your father going every day? And she said, I cannot say. It's a secret. He goes to worship somewhere, and then he comes back after the puja. And Vidyapati say, I want to know, I want to go there. And she said, it's impossible. Even I don't know where it is. My father don't take hardly anyone there. Very few people are allowed to be there. And Vidyapati was sensing that, something may be there. Then he decided that he would stay there. He would marry Lalita to be able to have more confidence, more trust from her father, and be able to reach that place where he's going for worship. So after the marriage was accomplished, Vidyapati, he became more, confident, to the point that he started to pressurize Lalita and say, I am your husband and you must tell me where is your father going. You cannot hide anything from me. Then Lalita said, yes, you are right, I cannot hide anything from you. So I will tell you, but please you don't tell to anyone. My father, he is going to worship Nilmadhav, a very beautiful deity in the mountains, inside a cave. But I don't know the way. And Vidyapati said, very good. Now I am very close. And then he said to Lalita, Lalita, you should tell your father to take me there. And then she said, okay, I will try. Then she came to Vishwavasu, very, affectionate to him, speaking very sweet words, say, oh my dear father, I want to ask something from you. Do you promise to give me whatever I ask to you? He said, yes, you are my dear daughter. I can do whatever you want. He said, I want you to take Vidyapati to see Nilmadhav. And the father said, that's not possible. He said, not possible? If you don't do it, I will kill myself. Vishwavasu, he was surprised. He said, but how is that? He said, yes, he is my husband, he is living here with us, why you cannot show him? After so much discussion, finally, Vishwavasu, he agreed. And he told Lalita, okay, but one condition. I have to blindfold him. I will not show him the way. And I will bring him back also blindfolded. And then she said, okay, let it be. So she told Vidyapati, you should be ready because my father agreed to take you there. On the day they were ready to go, Vidyapati was sit on the chariot and he was blindfolded. And Lalita gave him a bunch of mustard seeds and told him, you drop them one by one on the way. So after 1 month or two, the flowers will be there and you'll be able to find the path. And Vidyapati was like that. So Vishwavasu, he was taking the chariot in zigzag, going from different ways, and Vidyapati was dropping gradually the mustard seeds. Once he arrived there, he had darshan of Nilamada, very, very beautiful, deity of Krishna. And then he came back and everything was okay. After coming back, he waited for a few days and then he decided to leave, to go back to his kingdom, inform his king, get everything ready so they could come back and find the mustard flowers and reach the place. But Vishwavasu, he was very smart and he sensed that Vidyapati could plan something. So as soon as he heard that Vidyapati would be leaving, he locked Vidyapati inside the room. And he said, you will not leave from here. And Lalita was very upset. And Lalita again came and Vidyapati told, tell your father to take me out from this room. I have to meet my king. It is very important. Then Lalita came to Vishwavasu and said, Father, if you don't release him, I will kill myself. And again start bribing and giving pressure to father. Finally, father agreed to release Vidyapati. As soon as he got free, he ran back to the kingdom of Indrajumna Maharaj. Arriving in the kingdom, he told Indrajumna Maharaj that he found Nilamadav. Indrajumna Maharaj was so happy. He decided not to take few people, but take everyone, his whole kingdom, all his treasure, everything to that village to find. So, but when they arrived with all these people, there was no more village. Everything was covered by sand. They could not find anything else, neither the house, neither the mustard flowers, nothing. And Indrajumna Maharaj became again very much, disheartened, very much disappointed. They say, oh, in this life, if I cannot have darshan of Nilmadhav, I will fast till death. And he went to the shore of the ocean and he sit in front of the ocean and he started fasting. At that time, one aerial voice from the sky told him, Maharaj, don't kill yourself. It's not time for that. Very soon, I will take you to have my darshan in Vaikuntha. But the darshan of Nilmadhav, you won't be able to get in this life. So be satisfied. Somehow he became satisfied. Immediately Lord Brahma, he came in his swan, this flying swan, and he took him, Indrajumna and Gundicha Devi, to Vaikuntha. But this Vaikuntha is not the transcendental original Vaikuntha, beyond Viraja river. This Vaikuntha is, a kind of expansion, manifestation of this original Vaikuntha in this material world. So there only he had darshan of Lord Narayan, of the Lord. And then when he returned back, lot of time has passed in earth. Millions of years have passed. Another king was there on his palace and doing everything. So he wanted to take back his kingdom. But how he could prove that he was a king and that he was alive for millions of years? So finally, the crow, Kakobushundi, who was living since the time of Lord Ram, he was witness for that. And he gave his words to the other king. As well as Lord Brahma himself came to assure that actually Indrajumna Maharaj, he was the king of that palace. So finally they came to agreement. Again, Indrajumna Maharaj, he became the king. So then afterwards, one aerial voice from the sky again spoke to Maharaj. Say, Maharaj, I want to manifest my form in this material world. And the 3 logs will appear in the ocean, in the place which is known today as Chakratirtha, where our mat in Puri is situated. In that very spot, the 3 logs appear. And then that voice told to Indrajumna Maharaj, you should bring these logs, take out of the water, the ocean, put them in a chariot, bring them to palace, and carve 3 deities there. Then he went and he brought soldiers, elephants, everything, everyone. But he could not pull it out of the water. It was not moving at all. Very heavy. Immediately, Vishwavasu, Lalita and Vidyapati, 3 of them, they appeared at the spot. And then the aerial voice told, Maharaj, let them pull it. So very easily they pulled the logs and they put in the chariot and they went there. So after there will be the division of the seva for Lord Jagannath. One group is Vidyapati and the descendants of Vidyapati and Lalita in the line of Vishwavasu, which are the outcast people. Nowadays the Daitapatis, they do this seva. And the other side is Vidyapati and his other wife, which was a Brahmani in the kingdom. So they are the descendants called Lakshmipatis, or the Brahmins, original Brahmins. So they serve Lord Jagannath every day except for the Rath Yatra time. But every morning, the Daitapatis, they do the first offering to Lord Jagannath. And the rest of the day, only Lakshmipatis. But during Rath Yatra, only the descendants of Vishwavasu, the outcast, they can go. Why? The other day I explained, because they are like the Brajavasis. They are like the side of the Brajavasis. So therefore, when Jagannath is going to Gundich, it's like Krishna is going to Vrindavan. So therefore, only they can do. Because Lakshmipatis or Brahmins in the line of Lakshmi Devi, they cannot enter to Vrindavan. And that comes the festival of Hera Panchami, which is 5 days later. So then the logs, they were brought inside the temple. And Indrajumna Maharaj was searching for different carpenters who could carve the deities. But everyone would fail. The instruments would break as soon as they touch the body or the log. Finally, after so much trying, one very old carpenter, a Brahmin, he came and told, I can do it. But I have one condition. My condition is that you have to lock me inside the room for 21 days and don't open until finish this time. And then Indrajit Maharaj, he agreed, it's okay. So like that, he decided to leave him inside that room. But when it reached 14 days, what happened? Gundicha, she became very anxious. She's saying, this Brahmin is inside for 14 days, not eating, not drinking. If he dies, we will be blamed by committing Brahmahatya, the killing of a Brahman. And this is very bad. So she was insisting with Indrajit Maharaj that he should open the door and check what happened. Then Indrajit Maharaj was reluctant. He said, no, we promised to keep him. Then she said, but we don't hear any sound coming from inside. Maybe he's already died. And then finally Indrajit Maharaj agreed to open. When they opened, no one was there. In one version of the story, the Brahmin was there, and he became very upset, and he told, because you have opened before the time, I will not finish the carving. And then they found the deities with that shape that we know nowadays, Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra, in an incomplete form. And another version of this story, there was no one inside, and they had to also remain with the deities like that. But in fact, this is not an incomplete form of Krishna, of Jagannath. This form has a reason, and the reasons for that comes in the next story. Why that form of Jagannath is so special. As you know, Krishna, he left Braj. He went to Mathura, and then he went to Dwarka. In Dwarka, Krishna, he was going to a very deep state of separation. In that separation, he would continuously remember Vrindavan, remember the Brajavasis, especially the Brajagopis, Radha, Lalita, Vishaka. So Krishna, he would call their names day and night. Day and night he would cry. Sometimes he would go to the roof of the palace and he would cry so much that Uddhav, who was downstairs looking, he was thinking that rain was falling. Such amount of tears were coming. And at night he would go to the room of Rukmini or Satyabhama and others, and he used to grab their saris and he used to cover his eyes and cry for the whole night, calling out, He Radhe, He Lalite, He Vishaki. And the bed will be completely soaked in water. And the queens, they could never understand why Krishna is behaving like that. Why is Krishna always remembering these Brajagopis? Why they are so special? He is not satisfied with us. We are so qualified. We are 16,108. And still he is not satisfied. We have so many talents. We are so beautiful. We know to do so many things. What is that? So due to then Narada Muni, he decided to play a trick with them. And he came to the queens of Dwarka. And he told in a sarcastic way, say, hey Rukmini, you know, all of you are the most dear most to Krishna. He loves all of you more than anyone in this world. This is true. And then Rukmini say, Narad, you must be joking. Because in fact it's not true. Not true because he cannot forget the Brajagopis. And then Narada was saying, oh no, it is true, why not? Say, no, Narad, we actually want to understand why is Krishna always thinking about these Brajagopis? What are the glories? And then Narada say, oh, you want to hear about the glories of the Brajagopis? Say, yes. Okay, then you can ask to Rohini Maya. Rohini, she lived in Braj for 10 years, 10.5 years. She's Baladev's mother. Although she is from Mathura, but she lived in Braj. She saw Krishna and Baladev growing. She saw all the interaction between them and the Brajavasis. So she is the most qualified people to tell you why is Krishna so attached to the Brajagopis and to the Brajavasis in general. Then the queen said, okay, this is a very good idea. I'm going to ask. So they gather in Rohini Maya's room and very humbly they request, hey Rohini Mata, please tell us why Krishna cannot forget the Brajagopis, cannot forget the Brajavasis. And Rohini say, oh, you really want to hear about that? Not going to be jealous? They say, no, please, tell us. We are also very eager to understand what is their glories. And Rohini say, okay, but there is one problem. If I start speaking about Brajavasis, that will immediately attract Krishna here. But if Krishna comes, I cannot continue speaking and I have to stop. And then they decided, okay, let us put Subhadra at the door, guarding the door. So if Krishna comes, she should stop him, not allow him to come in. And Subhadra agreed. And then Rohini starts speaking. And Rohini spoke about the sweet relations between Krishna and Jashoda and Nanda Baba, how they were loving him so much, how they were serving him so much in all respects, and how the gopis were always preparing butter, makhan, and Krishna would go to their houses and steal butter. And how the young gopis would make Krishna dance for exchange of one laddu. So they would give laddus to Krishna and Krishna would dance. And so many beautiful pastimes happened. Krishna lifted Giriraj Govardhan to protect the Brajavasis for 7 days, 7 nights. At that time, he had a very special interaction also with the Brajagopis. When Krishna when Krishna subdued Kaliya, he danced in a very beautiful way in the hoods of Kaliya. And you know, Srila Gurudeva, he says that actually he brought the gopis to dance with him on top of the Kaliya's hoods. He did not dance alone. In the beginning he was exhibiting himself, showing off his expertise in dance. And after, they danced together also with Krishna. So, all these sweet relations between them, no one can replace. So, in the meantime, as she was speaking, Krishna was attracted there immediately. So, as he arrived at the door with Baladev, Subhadra said, no, you cannot enter. No, let me go. I want to hear. Then Subhadra said, but Krishna, if you go, she will stop speaking. So there is no point of going. Stay here and listen from the door. And Krishna said, yes, it's a good idea. So 3 of them with the ears at the door, listening to Hari-katha. Hari-katha is such a powerful thing that even Krishna is very eager to hear. And especially when pure Brajavasis speak Hari-katha like Rohini, then it is very, very sweet. So, by hearing that, Krishna, he start to become immersed in his memories. And he began to again revive those leelas, as if he was living them again, performing them. And his heart began to melt with love. love in separation, and he could not hold himself, and he completely melted, and he entered in the ecstatic transformations. His arm entered inside, his legs also entered inside the body, and his eyes popped out, and he was like that. Jai Jagannath. And Baladev Prabhu, as he was seeing that, he was also touched by that emotion. And he also entered in the same ecstatic transformation, with the limbs inside and the eyes out. In the same way, Subhadra in sequence. So three of them, they were completely melted in that ecstatic form of separation. So this Lord Jagannath's form is a form of Krishna in deep separation, but in the ecstasy of separation, not in the suffering, but in the ecstasy. When love is brought very high, to the highest peak. Therefore, separation is the very important ingredient in Krishna's Lila. Krishna Lila is like a Julan. You know Julan? Swing. Swing is moving back and forth, one side to another. The same way Krishna Lila is moving like that, from separation to meeting, and from meeting to separation. Both are required. When they meet, they separate. When they are separated, they want to meet again. One is enhancing each other, one is increasing each other's satisfaction. Both meeting and separation have same value. They are both sides of one coin. So, then Narada Muni opened the door and he found the three brothers, the three siblings there. And he was shocked to see them in that position. And he was also a little frightened, a little worried. And he began to wake Krishna up and call Krishna. So as Krishna, he came back to his normal condition, Narada Muni apologized and said, "Hey Prabhu, please forgive me, because I have made a big mistake to give you such a trouble, to make you face this type of situation. So please forgive me." But Krishna said, "No, Narada, I am very happy with you. What you have done, no one can repay. I am so happy because I had a chance to hear this wonderful Hari-katha, Braj-katha. And then I am so happy, so satisfied with you that I want to give you a boon." Then Narada said, "Really? You're really willing to do that?" He said, "Yes, ask me whatever you want." And Narada said, "Okay, that very form of yours, of three of yours, melted in ecstasy, I want you to manifest that form for everyone to see that form." He said, "Okay, tatastu. So be it." So that is why Krishna, he wanted to manifest this form as Jagannath, because he promised to Narada Muni. But these Leelas, they go reversed. They are eternal. So apparently the pastime of Indrajumna Maharaj happened before, but actually Krishna manifested this after in Dwapara Yuga, right? So, but this form is eternal. So we cannot see like in a linear form. It is always available, this form of Lord Jagannath. So in this way, this is the second story. And the third story, most beautiful one. As I told, Krishna was in Dwarka, always upset, always restless. One of the natures of Lord Jagannath is restlessness. He's very restless. He does not have routine. He's always trying to do things in a different way. He has no eyelids. He cannot close his eyes. Can you imagine? How can you sleep without closing your eyes? Is it possible? No, but Krishna has to sleep like that. So therefore he is very restless. All the time he is in separation, in anxiety. He wants to leave that temple. Means he wants to leave Dwaraka. So therefore Jagannath is the most unstable deity in everywhere, in this whole world. He's the most active one, the most interactive one, and the most restless one. Therefore the solution is to feed him. All time feeding. Give him bhoga, then he will busy digesting, tired, and he cannot, go anywhere, or he cannot, suffer so much. So give him food. And he will eat through the eyes. Whatever he's glancing, he's eating. Therefore in Puri, a lot of offerings are being given to Lord Jagannath. Massive amount of bhoga is offered to Lord Jagannath. But Lord Jagannath has no time. When he will wake up, when he will sleep, nobody knows. One time I asked the Panda, my friend, I say, how do you know when it's time to open the temple's door? Because Jagannath is locked. They lock the door. He say, we don't know, but we are always trying to go and to do it at certain time in the morning. But something will always happen that this time will be different. Something will prevent us to go, something will happen on the way. Means Jagannath, he is arranging everything. So when he wants to open, then it can be open. Otherwise not possible. So this is due to this feeling of not being at home. Dwaraka is not Krishna's home. But he, for the sake of performing this lila, he has to force himself into this separation. But he don't want that. It is against his will. His will is to be in Vrindavan. But he has to do it. Why? Because in Braj, the love of the Braja Gopis have to rise. Separation makes the love to rise, become more intense. So when you be the meeting, that love will be more relishable. So Krishna has to make tapasya and not to stay there all the time. So that when he will appear as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he will be able to take the mood of Radha and to relish that separation that Radha was feeling when he was in Dwaraka. That's the reason. He wants to see how high this love can go before Radha collapses. And Radha was about to collapse. The news have come to Dwaraka that Radha cannot survive more, maybe 1 or 2 days. Krishna became very restless, very upset. Such upset that he lost his consciousness. And Narada Muni, he sensed, and he told everybody, as soon as he wake up, he want to rush and go to Vrindavan. So we have to manage and keep his chariot ready. I know. And then Baladev Prabhu told, but you cannot send him straight away to Vrindavan. Why? Because in Vrindavan, no one is ready to receive him. They are completely lifeless. There is nothing ready. There is no food. Everyone is scattered and fallen on the ground here and there. How Krishna can arrive in that condition? So better if someone inform the Brajavasis that Krishna is about to come. Then they can get ready and welcome him nicely. And Narada told, okay, Baladev, you are the right person to do it. And Baladev said, no, I have gone once. And I have told them that Krishna would come in a few days, but Krishna did not come. no one will believe me. Better to send Uddhav. Uddhav has intimacy with the Brajabasis. He can speak to them. And Uddhav was saying, no way. They will never believe me also, because I have gone once telling that Krishna would come. I tried to pacify them and they only chastised me. I could not even have a dialogue with them. I spoke many nonsense things to Nanda Baba. I tried to tell Nanda Baba that Krishna was God. That made things even worse. I tried to talk with the gopis and they defeat me with all arguments. And I failed to understand their moods. And then they thought, okay, so we can send Subhadra. She hasn't been there before. And Subhadra said, yes, very good idea. I'm very eager to go there. Since a long time I want to meet the Brajavasis. I'm very eager to meet with Madhya Yashoda. I want to sit in Madhya Yashoda's lap and I want to tell her very nice things about Krishna. And I want to inspire her to cook for Krishna. And I go from door to door in Braj, calling all the Brajavasis to be prepared to receive Krishna. And everyone agreed, great idea, perfect. So bring Subhadra's chariot. When the chariot came, Baladev Prabhu said, wait a minute. If my sister is going and soon after Krishna will go, I also have to go. And I will not allow Subhadra to go alone, I will protect her then. So, Subhadra, let me go first and you come behind. So in this way, they arranged for Baladev's chariot and Baladeva, he moved forward first. After him, Subhadra. And then they told, okay, Narad, now you play the Veena. Very sweet Brajabasi songs. And bring Krishna consciousness back. As soon as Krishna came to his senses again, he said, hey, where is my flute? Where is my flute? I cannot find my flute. And everyone was just watching, like, shocked. He said, where is my flute? Oh, those gopis, I know, they have stolen my flute again. They are so naughty. I am going to find them, I am going to teach them a lesson. Hey Maya, please. I have to go. My friends are waiting for me. We have to graze the cows. Bring my prasadam. Make everything ready. I cannot delay. They are waiting for me outside. Baladev, Arjun, Kinkini, Madhumangala, everyone is ready. And they say, the Narada Muni told Krishna, look, you are not in Vrindavan. You are in Dwaraka. And Krishna say, Narad, what are you doing in Vrindavan? I never expected to see you here. I say, hey Krishna, you are not. Look around. You are in Dwaraka. And finally Krishna understood and say, I have to go to Vrindavan right now. Bring my chariot. I cannot wait 1 minute. Radharani, she will not survive if I don't go. And Narada say, I knew that you had this desire and we make everything ready. Baladev and Subhadra have gone ahead. And now I'm calling Daruka and he will take you to Vrindavan. So Krishna climbed his chariot. He was like tied, tied in the chariot and sent. Daruka, he flew on the road very fast. Every second was like Krishna was like, losing his life. And in Vrindavan, Radharani, she was having her last breath. So Daruka took Krishna to Kadambakyari, the place where for the last time the gopis saw Krishna in the chariot of Akrur. When the gopis, they tried to hold the chariot back. They were throwing themselves in front of the horses, trying to hold Krishna, not allow Krishna to leave Braj. And there they remained. They remained there, falling on the ground, expecting that Krishna will come next day. Because Krishna promised, I will come in the next day. But he didn't. So they were always thinking, tomorrow he will come. Tomorrow he will come. 100 years passed. And why they did not die? Because if they died, that would make Krishna very sad. They don't want to make Krishna sad in any way. So they hold their life heirs inside, where they had no more strength to do anything. Radha was kept in a bed of lotus petals. She was feeling such hot fever, such a fever, that all the petals would dry immediately and they had to be replaced continuously. The manjaris, they would paste Radharani's body, smear with chandan, sandal paste, trying to cool down with camphor. And this is also one part of the Chandana Yatra of Radharani. In Chaitanya Charitamrita there is one verse which says that in separation, Radha is the sandal and the camphor for cooling Krishna's body. So Radha was so thin that even her bracelets were used, her ring were used as bracelets. So thin she was. She was about to die. And as Krishna arrived, he saw Radharani in that situation. I have some suspicion that Radha's form was a type of melted form, just like Jagannath has his melted form. I am suspicious that form of, because one time I asked this question but I could not get proper answer. But rather she was also melted in separation. And when Krishna saw Radha in that condition, then he cannot hold himself and he also melts. And then Lalita goes in the ear of Radha and says, Radha, Krishna is here. Krishna is here. Wake up, wake up. And then Radha gradually wakes up. And when she sees Krishna, she cannot believe that Krishna is there. Such a long time in separation that she cannot believe that he's there. And then gradually Baladev and Subhadra, they arrive, and as they see Krishna in that melted condition, they also merge into ecstasy and they also manifest this form. So gradually they were telling the names of Radha in Krishna's ear, and Krishna gradually he returned to his normal condition. So this is the third story that Srila Gurudev revealed from his heart. Shastra is not everything. Shastra is limited. Shastra is one half-friends that we have in this world, but it's cannot be everything, because Krishna's Leela are unlimited and Shastra is limited. 1,000 pages, 10,000 pages, how much? But in the heart of the pure devotees, Ananta Leela are going on. Limited Leelas are going on in the heart of the pure devotees. So they can. So now comes a question. How Subhadra can enter in Braj? Subhadra, she is born in Dwarka. She's not born in Vrindavan, she's born in Dwarka later. But why she can enter? She's Dwarkavasi. How she can enter in Braj and perform this Rath Yatra festival? She can go in Gundicha, Gundicha's Braj. Because, in fact, Subhadra, she is Jogmaya, the twin sister of Krishna, who born with him in Braj. That has appeared again as Subhadra. When Krishna born, there was a twin sister with him, little younger. So when Vasudev Maharaj, he brought Mathuresh Krishna to Braj, And Mathuresh Krishna merged in the body of Brajesh Krishna. Vasudeva Maharaj took that girl, that baby girl, back to the prison in Mathura, trying to cheat Kamsa, saying that a girl has born, not a boy. So therefore, please don't kill her. At that point, Kamsa decided to kill her. And when he is going to chop the head of the baby flies on the sky and manifests the form of Durga and kick the head of Kamsa and say, "You fool! The one who is going to kill you is born somewhere else." Because Kamsa, he cannot see Jogmaya, he can only see Mahamaya. So therefore, the darshan she gave him was as Durga. So again she disappeared, and then she reappears as Subhadra. So because she is Jogmaya, then she can enter in Braj. And why is that sequence? First Baladev, then Subhadra, and then Krishna. Another interesting point also, Sudarshan. Sudarshan is going where? In which chariot Sudarshan is going? With whom she is going? Because she is going. Sudarshan. Sudarshan is going with whom? In which chariot? It's only 3 chariots. She's going with Subhadra. Because she is a female. Baladev is going first. Baladev is Guru Tattva. So, at first we need Guru Padashray. At first we need Guru Tattva. After receiving the mercy of Guru, then we receive next mercy from Jogmaya. Jogmaya, she is the controller of the Dham. She is the controller of Krishna's Leela. She is the one who can remove the veil of Mahamaya and can grant you access to these Nitya Leelas. And that access to Nitya Leela is coming as the transcendental vision, which is Sudarshan, the special vision to be able to see Krishna, and then Krishna comes afterwards. But that mercy cannot come only from Jogmaya. We know that this mercy comes first from Swarup Shakti, Srimati Radhika. So again, I don't want to say anything, but Sudarshan, she will stand on Krishna's, on the Jagannath's left side. Right? Yeah. So whose place is that? That is Radharani's place. And Sudarshan, she is a female, because she goes with Subhadra. And plus point, in Radhashtami day, in Puri, how they will celebrate in Jagannath temple. You know? They will bring Sudarshan out of temple and they will do puja for Sudarshan and they will do parikrama of temple with Sudarshan in Radhashtami day. And everyone will worship the Sudarshan. So, in this way, that is the, we can say, the presence of Srimati Radhika. This Sudarshan also means that auspicious sight of protection. That means Radha is always looking after Krishna. She is always there. She is always taking care of him. Always present there. Nilachal. Nilachal Mandir. Nilachal also means Nilanchal. Means the blue shawl. Who wears blue shawl? Radha. So Krishna is taking shelter in the blue shawl of Radha. So Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his name was Bimala Prasad, right? But who is Bimala? She is the Shakti of Jagannath. So if you consider Jagannath as Dwarkadish, then Bimala means Lakshmi. But if you see Jagannath as Mahaprabhu told, as Brajendra Nandan and Shama Sundar, then this Bimala is not more Lakshmi, this is Radha. And Srila Prabhupada, he is the Prasadam, he is the mercy of Radha. He is the embodiment of Radharani's mercy to establish the Gauriya. The Gauriya is a movement of Radha. Nothing to do with Lakshmi. So in so many ways, there are so many mysteries there. There are so many special things around this Rath Yatra Leela, this Jagannath Leela. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Any question?
Maharaj, just a short thing. So if I understood correctly, in the third story, which is basically not really mentioned in the book, you're saying that when Krishna arrives there and seeing Radharani's state, because she's became very thin, he starts to melt. This is what I understood from you. And then when he melts, he becomes this form of Jagannath. And then when Baladev arrives and he sees Krishna's melting, he's taking this form. And again, when Subhadra arrives and seeing all the situation, she also starts to melt. This is how I understood it correctly, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're saying that Radharani, it might be also she's also melting, right? So, but you're also saying the Sudarshan is also referring, maybe might refer to Srimati Radhika. So may it be that she is in this form of Sudarshan.
Yeah. That's the logic, yes. That's, but I'm not affirming.
No, but just...
I'm just, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That was exactly what I wanted to draw this picture. Yeah.
Very beautiful point you're making.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
There are many deep things in this Leela.
Okay.
Many deep things.
Thank you.
In Kurukshetra, when Krishna is there are also different types of Rath Yatras. Na? This Rath Yatra, it is manifested like that. So, Krishna going back to Braj, right, by himself. But there is another type of Rath Yatra, which is when they meet in Kurukshetra. By the time of the solar eclipse, the gopis meet with Krishna and they have all that exchange, very deep exchange. And the gopis tell Krishna, we don't want to see you like this, surrounded by so much opulence, by servants, by ministers, by elephants and horses and 16,108 queens, all your family members, because these things are not stimulus for us. We want to see you back in Vrindavan. We want to see you wearing your yellow pitambar and dhoti, your turban and peacock feather. We want to see you playing your flute. We want to see you at the bank of Jamuna, playing with us. So please sit in the chariot of our hearts, or Manarat, and we will bring you back to Vrindavan. So this is another type of reason for the Rath Yatra. Krishna sits in the Manarat, in the heart's chariot of the gopis, and then they bring him back to Vrindavan to perform Ras, because Ras requires few ingredients: place, parikaras, and pastimes. So Vrindavan is the place, parikaras are Krishnan gopis, and different elements for stimulation, seasons, moon, night, many things like that. So they want to bring Krishna out of Braj, out of Kurukshetra, bring him back to Braj. At that time, after taking bath in the Brahmakund, Krishna, he fell sick. He will fall sick. Why? He's creating one excuse so the Brajagopis can serve him. So there in Kurukshetra, for 15 days they were serving him in a tent. And after these 15 days, when he recovered, then they told him, now let's go back to Braj. So this is exactly after Snan Yatra, he gets sick and he stays 15 days inside ashram, temple, without seeing anyone. And after these 15 days, then he goes for Rath Yatra, goes to Gundicha. So there are many stories which are merging together for the same purpose. Jachinandana Gaur Hari ki Jai, Jai Jai Sri Radhe Shyam. So tomorrow we are going to again continue. Now tomorrow I'm going to explain from the point of view of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How Mahaprabhu would react during the Rath Yatra, what was his moods, what was his understanding, how he revealed to us the real way of understanding this Rath Yatra, as before no one have done. Jagannath Dev ki Jai. Vancha kalpatar vishwa kripa sindhu bheva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo